Three, two, one. It's your boy here, Edwin Bednarchek. Another bright and shiny morning. Friday morning, my favorite day of the week. Here I'm sipping some of my Lion's Mane 4 Sigma coffee. Just trying to warm myself up for a little cardio. And I thought I would start a series on how to get lean. So I'm going to start with a 6-day mini series. And 6 different topics, quick, easy to digest, with a nice presentation of scientific material, which will be of great benefit for you on your conquest towards getting lean. So, today I'm going to touch upon carb cycling. And you might be wondering, what the fuck is carb cycling? Well, it's not a bagel taking a fucking mountain bike down the road. It's not a piece of rigatoni riding a unicycle up Mount St. Helens. It's the deliberate manipulation of carbohydrates on a day-to-day basis between high carb days, medium carb days, and low carb days. When I say high, medium, and low, I mean based upon grams of carbohydrates within those days. And so that's it in a nutshell. Now let's get on to some of the hormones behind the scenes that cause carb cycling to be an effective method for losing fat. Okay, so the two main hormones responsible are ghrelin and leptin. And I'm going to get started with ghrelin. Ghrelin is what makes you fucking hungry. And as you get leaner, as you diet down, you're going to get fucking hungry. It's just a fact of life. That's what ghrelin's responsible for. It was initially discovered in your stomach. It was found also in many adjoining regions, and it can get into the GI tract, and it just signals your body to fucking eat. Like you just have to really eat. That's really all it comes down to. So when you sort of put that together in your head, okay, I'm getting leaner. I'm in a more deeper of a caloric deficit. So that either means I'm doing more cardio to expend more calories, or I'm eating less to take in less calories, which would result in the same end result. The bottom line would go down, and you're left with weight loss. It's as simple as that. What comes in has to be less than what goes out for weight loss. But now let's talk about leptin, the other side of this story here. It's a nice stutter. So leptin is actually the hormone responsible for providing satisfaction or satiety, fullness. It was initially discovered in adipose tissues. Sorry, I was just knocking on my head to get the answer. So it's initially discovering adipose, they're fat tissues, right? But upon it gets released upon the lipolysis of the adipose tissues, the burning of fat cells, or the reduction in size of fat cells, because they can't totally be burnt off. It does get released into a multitude of other areas, mainly the blood-brain barrier and cerebral spinal fluid, and it just gets to your brain, makes you sort of hungry, or not. Okay, so it was initially discovered leptin in 1994 on the obese gene by weight loss studies by Zhang et al. So it's mostly found in the fat cells, and it's a mediation of long-term regulation of energy and suppresses appetite, thereby inducing weight loss. So now we can talk about the manipulation of these two hormones and their possible interaction that would benefit you in getting lean. So, ghrelin makes you hungry, leptin makes you satisfied. So you have to play with them. And that's where carb cycling comes in. Because a very exciting part about this carb cycling is that leptin will essentially increase with an increase in, I'm going to focus on two topics that cause them to increase. An increase in glucose uptake and an increase in eating and caloric intake, rather. So when a coach schedules for you a high carb day, a cheat day, a weekend day, they want you to go out and have good carbs because, as I just said, an increase in glucose, blood glucose levels, will cause an increase in leptin. And the increase in leptin will stay with your body for, I'd say at least 3 days, depending on how lean you are. And that means that you won't be as hungry for those 3 days. It will reduce, the idea is that it will reduce the ghrelin. It's still a theory, so you can't really say with 100% certainty that it's real, but the fact that the earth is round is still a theory, so I'm going to say this is real. So yeah, that is how to manipulate the carbohydrates in order to manipulate these two hormones responsible for hunger and satisfaction to get the most out of your diet and get yourself as lean as possible. Now I just want to go over a sample, pretty basic guideline for how to go about it. For males, it would be a high carb day. It would be 2 to 2.5 grams of carbohydrates a day. Medium would be about a half gram to 0.75 grams per day. And then you could have a low or no carb day, which is 50 grams or less. And what you do on these days so that your calories don't dip like retarded low is increase your fat intake. Increase it from monounsaturated fats and polyunsaturated fats. And if you do introduce saturated fats, make sure they're from grass-fed beef. We don't want an increase in omega-6s. And just in this example, I have here, like from my last prep, when I was 8 weeks out, I started to manipulate my carbs, and a high carb day for me was 125 grams, a medium was 75, and a low was 0 to 25. And I weighed 220 pounds. So that's, almost like 0.5 is my higher carb days. But, I can't complain about that. It definitely works. It's definitely something that I would recommend as you get deeper and deeper into the fat loss. If your fat loss is stalling, this is something that you could implement. There are many useful solutions for carb cycling, and I hope that I imparted some wisdom on you that you could take and synthesize in your own mind and come up with a decision that would allow you to pursue getting lean. Alright everybody, it's Edwin Bednarchek. And I have to try to go get a little bit leaner myself, so I'm going to go do some morning cardio and read a fine book. Take care, enjoy your Friday, and the rest of your weekend. Peace out, everybody.